This Week in Fish and Wildlife, sponsored by your local Montana Toyota dealers.
Thursday morning time once again for This Week in Fish and Wildlife. We're on the road. We're not far from the Gallatin River here, just outside of Big Sky. Morgan Jacobson joining us this morning. Kind of an interesting environment to be talking about this, but it's the perfect time to talk about those boat decals. It's a time to be thinking about that as we work towards a little better weather for boating.
Yeah, you know, here we are in the middle of January, and your boat's all put away and wrapped up. It's the last thing you're thinking about this time of year. But every February is when boaters are renewing their boat decals. So these go next to the boater registration decal that you have. Boating registration in Montana is permanent, but one way that we can kind of keep track of how many boats we have on the water in any given period is with these decals. These decals are good for 3 years, and so if you have one that's green that looks like this, that means it's time to get a new one. And people can do that by coming by our office and picking those up.
Is there a fee for this? How does that work? Do you have to fill out applications? Is it a complex process?
No, it's super simple. So once you've registered your boat, that's a permanent registration, and then these decals are free. So you come by the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks office, bring your registration for your boat, and then you're able to pick up one of these decals. You can also order one online at our website, which is fwp.mt.gov.
Yeah, just if you can, give me an idea what this is used for you folks. I mean, I know it loosely helps you keep track of what's going on Montana's waterways.
That's right. So you know, we since we do have permanent registration, one-time registration for boats in Montana, you know, that can make it a little tough to gauge, well, how many boats are on the water every year. So these decals kind of help us do that, and they provide information to the Coast Guard as well, so they can kind of keep track of how many boats are out there. Again, these are good for 3 years, so you pick one up, you put it on your boat, it's good for 3 years, and that kind of gives us an idea of, you know, roughly how many boats are on the water in that time period. But it's, you know, it's good, useful information.
That's perfect. Again, Morgan Jacobson talking to us this morning. It's in the teens here in Big Sky. Of course, it's a perfect time to talk about boating. Green, no go. Red, now go.
That's right. Come get a red one, and you're good to go for the next 3 years.
That's perfect. Morgan, thank you very much. And that's This Week in Fish and Wildlife.
This Week in Fish and Wildlife was sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.